Name's Roger Boaty. Mr. George Roger Boaty.
Well, of course it is Roger Boaty, and a hugely warm welcome to Monday Night Live and Windy Bottom and here in the Peak District, and it's an absolute joy to be with you again after after a gap of a few after a Sunday. And how are you all? Thank you so much for being here. I'm particularly glad to see you tonight because I have had the worst day. So I hope your day has been better than mine, and I would like to hear about it. Now, what are we going to talk about tonight? Well, I have no idea. We'll see what pops up, shall we? So, as always, darlings, throw anything at me that you care to. Tell me what you did on Sunday. Tell me what you've been eating. Tell me what you've been thinking. Tell me any little triumphs that you've had. Little victories that don't mean much in the grand scheme of things, but mean a great deal to you personally. Yeah, throw all of that stuff at me. Any weird dreams you've had, celebrity encounters, or have you had a sausage in your life in the last 48 hours? And if so, share it with the community, my darlings. Now, let's see who I've got. Oh, this is always an exciting time. I love seeing us all gathered here together of an evening. And make no mistake, I'm going to be with you right the way through until midnight. And then I'm going to have a relatively early night tonight. The lovely Matt, my delightful unpaid intern who's worth every penny I don't pay him. Jimmy Quinn, hello. Simon, the fabulous Project MGTF. What happened to your stream, Simon? I was watching it, then I had to do something, I went back and it had just completely ceased to exist. Did it just finish and it was rendering and that's why I couldn't see it? General Cheeseburger is here, right in our midst, where he likes to be. Don't freeze or choke on your wine, I'll try not to. A good stream tonight, says Jimmy Quinn. And that's directed towards Simon, of course. And I concur. It was indeed a good stream. Has the weekend, asks Matt, affected my position on Skick's Most Wanted list? I don't know. I don't have any up-to-date information on that particular naughty step, Matt. A good stream, agrees Matt. Are all the YouTubers talking about we tonight? Well, I don't know. Pass. Right, okay. Simon pleads Jimmy Quinn in a very pleading manner. Buy your wife a big box of chocolate. Yeah, why not? I don't know why he's particularly supposed to do that, but oh, was it the second birthday, half a birthday thing? Right, I'm not reading that one out, Matt. Cheeseburger says Simone's Gaydon video was good. I'm yet to have that pleasure, Cheeseburger, but I will catch up with it very soon. Everything Cars is with us and says, hello, everyone. Good evening to you, sir. Is that a karate suit, asks Simon, or a dressing gown? It's a dressing gown, dear boy. It's a dressing gown. Good evening all, says Trisha Alderman, and a very good evening to you. It's lovely to have you with us. Thank you for being here, Trisha. Always a pleasure. Goodness me, says Jimmy Quinn, only in not quite so many words. It's Noel Coward. Yes, I am in my evening attire because I had a bath. Yes, Simon, I watched you whilst very naked indeed and all soapy in the bath. I'm currently breaking into the Blockbusters filming studio, says underscore. Oh, don't worry, I'm only taking the pee. Well, that joke's going to fall flat on anybody who's too young to remember Blockbusters. Or, given that my audience tends to be of a certain age, I guess we all remember Blockbusters. Were any of you on it? I never was. All of my TV stuff came later. Yeah, let us know if you were ever on Blockbusters. I'll have a pee, please, Bob. Yes, indeed. It's bananas in pyjamas, says Cheeseburger, and then laughs his bottom off. Hope your gownie doesn't gap, says Bad Books. Don't worry if it does. I am not naked underneath. Look, I'll prove it. See? Toppy thing, bottomy things. You're all safe. You're not going to see anything that you would struggle to recover from. Rover Joe is amongst us. Hello, Rover Joe. Counting down the days until I get to meet you on Sunday. Has Boaty done his eyebrows? He looks like Dennis Healy. God, do I? No, I haven't done anything to my eyebrows, and I never have, and I never would. I mean, what would I do? What would I do to them anyway? What can you do to your eyebrows unless you're one of those weird women, lady people who shave them off and draw them back on with a crayon so they look ridiculous and don't work? Right, okay, Matt, we won't read that out, will we? No, we're not going to read that one either. Liz is with us, Typhoon Cat. Hello, Liz, lovely to see you. Thank you for being here. It finished at 11:45, apparently. Mustard is with us and says, hello, people, and puts an exclamation mark on the end of it for no extra charge. So that's exceedingly generous of him, and we're all grateful to you, Mustard, for... Isn't it nice? Isn't it nice to have a bona fide celebrity in our humble little community? Doesn't it add a bit of weight to what we're all doing gathered here? You know, I mean, here we are, just a ragtag and bobtail group of people, and striding into our midst like a colossus striding the earth comes the hairy Paddington himself, a genuinely famous YouTube legend, and he allows us to talk to him as if we were his equals, which of course we are not, and we recognise that, and we bow down to his hairy weirdness and amazing propensity and ability to eat more than his own weight in food every 2 hours. I mean, that he really is a remarkable chap altogether. The next 76 comments are all people saying hello to Mustard. And then Cheeseburger. Cheeseburger says, evening Paddington. I like that. I love the fact that Mustard, I mean, you know, some of you know him as Paul, because, you know, that's the name that his parents gave him. And some of you know him as Nigel, or Project Nigel, because they mix him up and the channel name, which is, of course, named after a car, not after him. But wonderfully, and of course, some of you know him as Captain Mustard, which is a name that he gave himself because he, quite frankly, has delusions of grandeur. And he likes to think of himself as a commissioned officer, which we all know would be very, very unlikely. I mean, knowing and loving Mustard as I do, then had he gone into the personnel of the armed forces, he would have never made it past NCO. And I doubt he would have made it to NCO. In fact, I would imagine that he would have been dishonorably discharged within 4 weeks of entering the august ranks. But I digress. The point is that thanks to a chance remark of mine, he's now known and loved by many, including myself, as the Hairy Paddington. And I do love the fact that Cheeseburger has just greeted him by saying, evening Paddington. But he then follows that up by saying, Senior Mustard's 25 looks nice. And it is a lovely car. If you are in the market for a really well-sorted, low-mileage, pre-project drive Rover 25, you're not going to do much better. And he's not asking stupid money for it either. You may remember on the Project Nigel channel when that car came along and it was called, somewhat unfortunately, Michael Jackson. And there are, of course, some unfortunate connotations to the name of Michael Jackson. And as you know, for that reason alone, I would not have named the car that. I put cream on my hands tonight. When I was with Boo, it was a bit like when I was married. There were children around, and Christmases came around theoretically once a year, although it felt like every bloody 4 weeks at my age. And of course, Christmas is when people who don't entirely hate you buy you things that you don't want and probably don't need. And it's often something in the way of toiletries. Boo's eldest daughter used to work in one of those chemistry type places and got staff discount. So you can bet that your present was going to be something along those lines. And she used to give me a lot of Nivea products, none of which I used. But because I'm extremely old and quite literally and teetering on the verge of death, my skin is absolutely dreadful. Plus, because I'm going through some emotional stuff at the moment, I'm having another breakout of psoriasis, which is most unfortunate. So after my bath tonight, I put some cream on my hands and they feel nice and soft. If I were to stroke you now, you would possibly quite enjoy it. What were we talking about? Oh, we were talking about Senior Mustard's 25, weren't we? The car, unfortunately called Michael Jackson. What else could you have called it with the initials MJ? Milton Jones? Milton. Well, I don't know, but that's not the point, is it? The point is, it's a lovely car and it's for sale. So, you know, somebody really ought to buy it if they want one. If they don't want one, then quite frankly, they shouldn't buy it. It might be something of a waste of money. Why put me on the naughty step? What have I done? Everything Cars comes up with some very interesting questions. And here comes one. What was your first car? Now, I'm going to assume that was aimed at me, but of course, you must all feel free to answer it. What was my first car? Well, long-term viewers of the channel will know the answer to this, although they might have forgotten, because I did cover this in one of the 2 or 3 videos of my car history. My first car was a, surprise, surprise, silver Austin Ambassador 2-litre HLS. Registration Foxtrot Foxtrot Delta 526 Yankee. And it had that orangey Draylon and brown interior. 4-speed manual, electric windows in the front, power steering, a genuine British Leyland type onboard gramophone. Oh, I'm so sorry. That was uncalled for. And in my defence, I didn't call for it. That came out when I was speaking. And so technically, that doesn't count. And I would like to make that absolutely clear. So that was my first car, everything cars. An Austin Ambassador FFD 526Y 2-litre HLS in silver with an orangey interior and a very recalcitrant second gear. Yeah, and one of those spindly gear levers with an oddly shaped knob. And my father bought me that car, and it cost the princely sum of £500. Now then, good morning, Boaty and all, says Ross. It's Anzac Day here, public holiday to respect the armed forces, past and present. Oh well, enjoy your holiday day, dinosaur dad, known and loved by us as Ross, and a very good, well, yes, good morning to you, isn't it? Oh, you're going to send me a bill, Simon. I have to pay to, presumably the payment you are mentioning is for me watching you in the bath. Frankly, I think you ought to pay me. I mean, okay, you get your normal clothed viewers free of charge, but I think a naked viewer must be worth a couple of bob. He was playing with himself while watching a live stream, says Jimmy Quinn. I really wasn't. As we've possibly mentioned before, I'm one of those chaps that doesn't tend to do that, to be perfectly honest. I've always thought it's more fun having somebody else play with it on your behalf. It's kind of demarcation. Demarcation? That's the wrong word, isn't it? What are the words that I'm thinking of? Defibrillation. Demobilisation. No, it begins with a D. When you get other people to do stuff for you. Degeneration. Oh, you know what I mean. Make it up for yourself. Buttocks, Boaty, says Pingu Concord, who springs into the middle of us like a springy thing in spring. I have managed to drive my most knackered Rover, open brackets, Project Vaughan, close bracket. Yeah, that is a knackered Rover. I remember, Pingu Concord, going with Mustard to view that vehicle, and I was quite surprised that Mustard was actually willing to buy it, albeit at a lower price than the owner was of a mind to accept. At that stage of dealing with cars, that was just a car that I would have run a bloody mile from. And of course, you know, thank God for people like you, Pingu, who don't run a mile, but who take them under their wing and fettle them and furdle them and tickle them until they wet themselves with pleasure. Anyway, what have you done with Project Vaughan? Oh, you've driven a massive 8-mile road trip yesterday without any breakdowns or drama. Well done you. Yes, off you trot, Matt. A pinstripe dressing gown, says Mustard. Nice. Thank you. I appreciate your appreciation. And then Simon tries to spoil it by saying, I thought a zebra had got into his house at first. Dear me. Members get access to underscores hidden comments. I thought Hugh Hefner was dead, says Ross. Clearly not. All right. Go on, do your bloody worst. I don't care. This is my posh one. I've dressed up for you, you ungrateful bastards. I could have worn my everyday one, then you'd have been sorry. That's a horrible thing. That is the shade of grey that you only get by wearing white Y-fronts for 23 years and only ever washing them at 30 degrees. That's not how it got that colour. I mean, it was actually that colour when it was bought. It's genuinely supposed to be that colour. But it's not an attractive colour. Whereas this, I think, is rather splendid. And I'm trying to think who bought me this one. Most of my clothes have been bought for me by ladies of my acquaintance. And I can't remember who. I mean, this is quite an expensive one. Well, it's a very expensive one. I would never be able to afford something like this. And I'm trying to remember who bought it. And to be quite honest, I can't. So I can't give them an attribution. That's a word that didn't want to come out. Have you ever had something that didn't want to come out? Like that word there. I got the bastard out in a... What? You can't say that, Mustard. I'm not reading that out. That's a very naughty word. You'll have to read that. You'll have to read that comment for yourself. Has Boaty escaped from Broadmoor? Asked Jimmy Quinn. No. Simone is with us, hooked on classics. Yes, says Liz. Naming he who tat is poor stroke mustard stroke Harry Paddington stroke Captain Mustard is a problem. What do you prefer, Project Nigel? What do you prefer to be called? Captain Mustard stroke Paddington stroke. I'm trying to remember what I called you in that spoof video that I did. I think it was Professor Albert Boob Handler or something of that nature. And then there was an even better one afterwards. I wish I could remember. I was quite proud of myself for that. It doesn't take much for me to be proud of myself. Many of you will have seen a picture of me wildly applauding myself for having a poo on a potty when I was very, very young, about 13. And, that's really all it takes. I still, mentally and internally, applaud myself when I have a successful toilet. And I'm not ashamed to say that, to be perfectly honest. Oh, hello. Ivor Spotty Botty is with us. A very large hello, everyone, from Spotty Botty. I like 'em big. And good evening to you. Oh, I see. It was a missing H, Liz. Evening, Simone, says Cheeseburger. Nice video. Hello, Ivor Spotty Botty, says Liz. Long time no see. Hope you're okay. We're all saying hello to Ivor Spotty Botty. That's nice. Cheeseburger says, there is a nice Ledbury Maestro at KGF, whatever that is. It's done 4,500 miles and it's up for 6.5 grand. Sounds fair value to me. Right, okay, right, don't know what that one. Oh God, here we go. Hair dumpies here. And Matt says plenty of us here for you if you need to chat about it. Well, that's kind of what we're doing now. I just had a shit day, to be honest with you. Nothing dreadful has happened, nothing of that nature. All it was is that, as you know, Monday I go and hang out with my dear chum, the Hairy Paddington, and it's kind of a highlight of the week. I always look forward to it. I always enjoy it, and both of us are in such a state. He messaged me first to say that unfortunately we couldn't go through with the plan that we had, which was for me to take Brian Johnston to the Yard of Dreams. Mustard was going to give me a lift back here. We'd spend the afternoon here and whatever. He wasn't able to do that because he's too skint to afford the fuel. And I suddenly had a thought, and I said, I'll tell you what, if the YouTube money doesn't go in tonight, then I won't have the money to get there either. And, you know, whether you bring me back or not. And guess what? The YouTube money didn't go in when it normally does, which is on the 23rd, which was Sunday. Didn't go in on Sunday, so I thought, okay, weekend, maybe it'll go in on Monday. Normally when money goes into your bank, it actually goes in at just before midnight or something like that. No sign of it, no sign of it. So I was literally penniless today, and I didn't get to go and hang out with Mustard. Haven't got a penny to my name, and I just felt really depressed and sorry for myself, and if I'm honest, a little bit angry with myself that I'd allowed myself to get to 52 years of age when you're supposed to be settled and sensible and not have to worry about stuff. And I'm worrying about being so bloody skint that I can't just do what I normally do on a Monday. Not sure what I'm going to eat, and worrying about whether it gets cold enough that I need to put the bloody heating on. Absolutely ridiculous. So I've had a properly down day, and because I've been down, then as we've discussed before, it's kind of like a vicious depreciating circle. So I've done nothing. You know, I've barely had the bloody energy and get up and go to wipe my arse. It's been one of those days where I've just sat slobbing about doing sod all, virtually, just completely wasting time. You know, if I'd had a positive mindset, then I could have made the most of having a day at home. I could have done all the little jobs that need to get done and I haven't had time to do. I could have made some nice videos. I could have cleaned some cars. I could have done all sorts of things. And did I? No. I just sat on my ass all day feeling bloody sorry for myself. And then, of course, you feel angry with yourself for doing that. And that just makes you feel even worse. So, this evening, when there's kind of light at the end of the tunnel, when, you know, the day's gone and there's nothing you can do about it, and you know the evening's coming, you know you're going to go to bed and there'll be a new day in the morning. Thank God I had a bit of wine in the fridge, so I knew that I had a little drinky to look forward to, and I knew I had this to look forward to. So at about 9 o'clock, I snapped myself out of it a bit, and I went upstairs. You know, I accepted that everything else is a write-off. I haven't done the laundry. I haven't done the washing up. I haven't hoovered, sod all. But I made myself get up those stairs. I ran a bath. While the bath was running, I changed the bed and I put my best bed sheets on, the really posh ones that Chinese madam bought and forgot to take with her. God knows she took everything else she paid for, which is a bloody cheek, really. Did I tell you about the fridge freezer? Did I ever tell you about that? I must have, mustn't I? But now bear in mind that Chinese madam lived with me. She didn't pay a penny, not a penny rent, not a penny towards the bills, absolutely nothing whatsoever, which was fine. I didn't ask for anything. But of course, when she went, anything she had bought when she was here, she bloody took with her. And the only reason she didn't take the fridge freezer, which, now I bought that fridge freezer, well, she bought that fridge freezer because when she moved in, I'd been making do with what is now the curry freezer and wine fridge. It was big enough for a single man that doesn't have a lot of frozen stuff. I don't have a lot of stuff in the fridge, and that was fine for my needs. When Chinese Madam came along, she wanted to do a massive shop at the Chinese supermarkets in Sheffield once a week. So we very quickly realised that we needed fridge freezer. So she bought that one. Now, she didn't take it with her, A, because there wasn't room in the removals van, and B, because she didn't need one in the house that she'd bought in Liverpool. It had a built-in thing. But she would have taken it anyway and sold it, but there wasn't room in the removal van. But she didn't say, you know, no hard feelings, thanks for everything, have the fridge freezer. She made me buy it from her. And not only did she make me buy it from her, she insisted that I gave her the full price that she bought it for brand new, even though at this point, it's like a bloody year old and second hand. Why am I talking about the fridge freezer? I've completely lost track of why I'm talking about the fridge freezer. What was I talking about before I was talking about the fridge freezer? Oh, that's right, the nice bedding. So, I ran a bath, I changed the bed, I put the posh bedding on, so that when I go to bed tonight after a pretty pants day, I'll feel all special and lovely getting into, you know, it's always nice to get into a clean bed anyway, isn't it? Nice fresh bedding. But to have the nice stuff, then that's a super bonus. And then I had a nice bath, and then all of this happened. And I'm feeling much better now and much more positive, so thank you. My digestive system come to pot. That'll help. Cheers, darlings. You're very good health. Thank you for being here with me. Now, Head Dumpy is with us and is once again going to put my German to the test. And I don't really have any German. Oh, God. Oh, dear. Abendschmeizarsch. Okay, well, Abend is evening. I know that. Schmeizarsch. Well, I'm guessing that arse is arse. It's going to be good evening fat arse or lard arse, or probably lard arse, knowing Humpy Dump. Evening lard arse. Hör auf Wetleg zu bestrafen. No idea. Obviously something about Wetleg. Bestrafen. No, not a clue. Not a clue. Mickey Jeffries says me. I'm not sure what that's in response to, but hey, Mickey, hope you're doing all right, mate. Martin Johnston, why not? How much is the card? Asked Jimmy Quinn. I can't remember now. I don't know if he's officially announced it, but, no, I don't know. I honestly don't know. He did tell me a price he thought he would probably put it up for, but I don't know if he's going to, and I don't know if he has named a price. So it's not for me to say. But the price he mentioned to me was a very fair price considering what's being done to the car and the car that you would be getting. It is a nice, properly nice little car. And yeah, well worth the asking price. Unless he puts another £1,000 on what the price he mentioned to me. I would buy it if I had the money, says Simone. Lovely looking motor. It certainly is, Simone. I'm new to the channel, says Everything Cars, and you are so welcome here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for becoming part of our little community. You're very welcome, and we look forward to you being a part of all of our various nonsenses. And you are indeed being welcomed by everybody else at this point. Ambassador FFD Reg, says Cheeseburger. Shame it wasn't FFS. Yes. Project Nigel, Captain Mustard, the Hairy Paddington, has just done a burb and fart combo. And I think we can assume that burb is a typo and he actually means burp. So he's done a combined burp and fart, which I always think could be quite dangerous because it could cause some form of internal vacuum and you would find yourself unable to breathe because there was an airlock somewhere. Although babies manage it, don't they? As we've mentioned before, babies manage to burp, fart, cry, have diarrhea and wee all at the same time. They just sort of explode. My first car, says Simon, was a £50 automatic Mini, was all white. Skick says, Jimmy Quinn, do you think he will scrap it? Scrap what, Skick? Which comment of Jimmy's are you replying to there? Not absolutely sure. Envelope should arrive on Wednesday, says Matt. Oh, good. You stand a chance of getting your scratch cards, you people who've won them. Oh, and that reminds me. We've got more scratch cards to give away this week, my darlings. I haven't organised any sort of game or competition tonight because I was too busy feeling sorry for myself. But I've got 3 actual physical ones that are just over there. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I will think up some really idiotic competition or game where you can compete for them. And I'll make sure that it's really annoying and annoys the absolute arse out of you. Because, you know, I'm like that. You know, I'm a terrible man. Anthrax Day, says Cheeseburger. Send the mobile phone alert. Who got a mobile phone alert on whenever it was? Sunday, wasn't it? I got it on 2 of my 3 phones, and it was very exciting. Delegation, thank you, Liz. And thank you, Chaz Brown. And Simon, you got it wrong, you daft ass. And you got it wrong again. Spotty Botty, you got the one. Thank you so much. I didn't get an emergency alert, says Matt, because I turned them off in the settings. Now, I don't understand that, Matt. I don't understand that thing. Yes, I saw all of the social media posts about don't be a sheep, don't let them control you, blah, blah, blah. Here's how you turn off the emergency alerts. Okay, one question for you. Why? Why? Why would you want to turn off emergency alerts? What do you think they're going to do? That the kind of people who tell you to do this kind of thing are the people that will tell you Big Brother is watching you and trying to control you. And they're exactly the same sort of people who've all got smartphones that track them whether they like it or not. That all use all of the social media apps that follow every step of your online activity. And, I mean, it's just absolute barn pots. Absolute barn pots. Absolute madness. Don't get it myself. You know, I mean, turn your emergency alerts off if you want to, but God almighty. I mean, do I feel as if I'm being controlled or a sheep because a government installed app on my phone's tested an emergency alert? No, absolutely not. If there's a massive natural disaster or that lunatic in Russia launches a nuclear weapon, I want to know about it, thank you very much. I want to make the most of those 4 minutes. I shall leap on the nearest available woman and get a last one in. Oh dear. Okay. Oh, Jimmy Quinn says, Skip, that old Rover, he was asking for money yesterday. Okay, you've lost me there, Jimmy and Skick. Help me out. What are we talking about here? Vaughan has bags of potential, says Mustard. Yeah, well, I see that now. But I didn't see it at the time. I just thought it was a total shed that was best avoided. But, you know, I've learned and grown. We need a Brian Johnston update, says Simon. Well, there's not the update that was supposed to be because he's not been to the Yard of Dreams. But I will give you a Brian Johnston update. Now, what do you think of this, darlings? Somebody, and it's one of you lot watching now, and I really apologise that I can't remember which of you it was, helpfully commented on the video of Brian Johnston, they said, I had similar issues like this with a car, and it turned out to be a dead simple fix. The problem was the battery. New battery on there, problem sorted. Job jobbed, as our friend Matt would say. And that led me to thinking, would that make possible sense? And the reason I say that is because, think about last night, right? I took the battery off, I fully charged it. On a trickle charge, 24 hours. Put the battery back on the car, and the car that previously wouldn't drive 20 yards, suddenly drove absolutely perfectly for ages and ages and ages. Was that because it had a fully charged battery, a battery charged up to the nth degree? And then think what happened. Gradually, over the space of an evening, the problem started to creep back in. So could it be because the battery was gradually losing its state of absolute full charge and, just getting a bit less charged, maybe not providing constantly enough I don't know how these things work, electricity and all of that, but that made sense to me. And also, when I took the battery off and charged it, I noticed that the battery was about half the size of the size that it should be, or the space that there was for a battery. Maybe half is a bit much. Maybe it was like 2/3 of the size. But, right, it's definitely a smaller battery than is intended for the car. And it wasn't a new battery, it was just a random battery that Mustard had lying about and put on. So, could the battery be the cause of the woes? That's the question. Now, I have driven Brian Johnston today, and I drove him about 10 miles, and he behaved perfectly. Not a single issue. But I am thinking about the battery thing. So I think the best way to test that is, I know the battery on Shison is okay, and it's a more properly sized one. So I think I might swap the batteries over, put Shison's battery on Brian, and see what that does. And I'll probably do a video driving to work and back and jigging about in him again tomorrow night, as I did in the previous video, and we'll see if a different battery makes any difference. And if it does, then problem solved. I don't know, is that a possibility? What do you think? Let me know. So there you go, that is your Brian Johnston update. First car, says Ross, was a Mark 1 Fiesta 1.3 A-Reg. First thing was to put Capri pepper pots on it. Right, okay. They were nice, those pepper pots. And weren't... Oh no, the Capri pepper pots were... Yeah, they were like that. I can't remember the names of the alloys that went on the XR2. They were like 4 bigger holes, weren't they? Seeing Boaty reminds me to get the deck chairs out for summer. Yes, I was laughing, Jimmy, but it's true, says Skick. Again, don't know what you're talking about, guys. Help me out. It's a smoking jacket, says Spotty Botty. Come on, people, says Matt. Show some fucking respect. He's clearly dressed up to pay tribute to the late Dame Edna. That was a tragic day. What, I ask you, what were the chances of Dr. Sir Leslie Patterson, Dame Edna Everidge, and Barry Humphries all falling off the twig on the same day? You'd have got 1,000 to 1 odds on that with Betfred. Simon, right, okay. Where are we? Cheeseburger says, Skick, are you and Jimmy talking about a P6? Again, help me out, guys. The dressing gown is from John Collier, The Window to Watch. Don't know what that is. Dumpy Dum says, awesome bollock tagglecoff. You've made that up, you bugger. Right, Skick, Cheeseburger and Jimmy Quinn all appear to know what they're talking about. I don't. Although I've just had a thought. Okay, maybe I do know what you're talking about, genre, but I don't know specifically what you're talking about. I mean, just put it out there if you want to. Am I right in thinking about this is a Rover that somebody raised money to buy parts for, and now you're asking if it's been scrapped actually? I don't know. Oh dear. Mustard says low tide at Wine Bay, my darlings. Replenishments. Mustard says still waiting on my YouTube money. Oh shit, so my insurance direct debit bounced. Mustard uses his YouTube dough to pay for his trade insurance, which is a big old chunk of money. Not as much as it would cost me to get mine back, but still a big old chunk of money. Sorry to hear that, dude. It's yeah, it's a shitty situation we're in, isn't it? My YouTube money has gone in now. It went in just before I did this, just before I started this. So hopefully yours will be in there. So, oh, that's a bugger that your direct debit bounced. Are you gonna get hit with bank charges for that? And are the company going to charge you a 30 quid admin fee for retaking it? It's Mustard asked me last night, we were talking very late at night, and he said, how are we both in such a shitty situation? And in a moment of clarity, I immediately replied, well, neither of us has got a proper job, and we both run a fleet of cars we can't afford, which is kind of it in a nutshell, isn't it, really? But yeah, it's an absolute bugger living on the absolute knife edge all the time. It's does get a bit wearing. I've had a great day though, must I say, so that's good. Oh, if I wasn't working, I'd have driven you over and back, say Simon. Bless you, that's really kind, and that would have been really good fun as well. You mentioned in your live stream about us getting together to do some stuff, and yeah, we absolutely should. We're not a million miles away from each other, are we? And you also mentioned about Sunday. And Sunday's going to be rather fun at the Furious Driving Do. I saw on Joseph's live stream that the one and only Mr. Joseph Lloyd is going to be there, and I'm hoping that he favours me with a good afternoon. So I'm even more tempted now to take Boo just to annoy him, and so he can't put it on his channel, assuming that he's going to do a bloody woeful waddle, or what is it he calls in things? Shambolic shuffles. That's it. But anyway, yeah. So it's going to be good fun on Sunday. Chance to meet lots of people that I've never met before, and I'm jolly excited about that. Head gasket day tomorrow, says Matt, so I could probably follow you up to the Art of Dreams one day to drop Ryan off and bring you home. Well, maybe it won't be necessary if the battery turns out to be the issue, although you can bet it bloody won't be. That'll be too simple a fix. They've just put my dog insurance up to 165 quid a month, says Jimmy Quinn, because she's over 8. Bloody hell, that's a lot of money, isn't it? I've been there before, says Cheeseburger. Setting up my own business was a real stretch. I'm either wealthy or very skint. Oh God, yeah, that's me, mate. It's it's either feast or famine with me. I've lost 12k in bad debt since Christmas. Jesus. Ooh, sorry to hear that. Money's not everything, Mustard says Skip, but it nearly is. Yeah, that's very true. Simone is very tired and wishes everybody a good night. Good night to you, Simone, and have a peaceful night. Boaty, are you selling your body tonight? Asked Jimmy Quinn. I'll sell it any night for the right money, mate. Right, okay. Okay, we have a price on the senior mustard mobile, Michael Jackson, the gorgeous little pre-Project Drive 25. It's going up at 1,500 quid tomorrow. And that car's well worth 1,500 quid, especially in today's market. I've seen a hell of a lot worse out there for 1,500 quid. And senior mustard, as is his wont, has well and truly fettled it mechanically, and he knows what he's doing, that man. And mustard, by the time it's up for sale, will have well and truly furdled it cosmetically. So whoever buys that is going to be getting a little belter. And I hope it goes to somebody that is kind of within our extended community, or who at least becomes part of it, having bought it. Oh, Matt's picked up a couple more scratch cards from Matt. Lovely. We'll that's very kind and generous of you, so we'll have some games with those. No mobile phone alerts from me or Mrs. B, says Bad Books. No idea why. I turned off the alert, says Cheeseburger, because there was a suggestion that you would need to input personal data to make your phone work. I've turned them on now. If we get a 2-minute warning, it's fairly academic. No, I didn't do it because of Big Brother, says Matt. I just don't see the point of receiving the alerts. I understand they have a porpoise, but they don't apply to lowly interns. I don't know. I think the government is worried about nuclear attack, says Jimmy Quinn. I did wonder about that. Cheeseburger says, why get a 4-minute warning, then God help the cat? Oh dear. Oh, and Matt says, has anyone joined the CVT owners group on Facebook? Well, I certainly have, Matt, and I'm glad to be part of it. It's a group dedicated to people who own MG Rover CVT gearbox equipped cars, and I'm very much enjoying being part of it. And it's one of those rare things where if they have a meetup, I'll actually, I will actually go. And the chap who started the group and is running it is a lovely fellow who has been, he let me know, who has been a subscriber of mine since when I had a mere 60 subscribers. And is very, very well versed with all of my nonsense, and is probably well known to you lot. So I'm very grateful to him for that, and I'm very glad and happy to be part of his group. And yeah, I've been enjoying some fun discussions in there. Mustard has been mentioned as well, because do you know what we were talking about today, Mustard, in that group? We were talking about Alfred, the Alfie lookalike that came and went very quickly from the Yard of Dreams, but lingered sufficiently long for you to steal the alloy wheels off it, the Cosmos alloys, and stick them on Alfie. And I actually watched that video. I dug that video out and watched it tonight. And when you put the Cosmos alloys on, you really weren't sure about them. And you said that you liked the coronets, and the coronets were in better condition. And I remember saying to you, actually in person, that, oh, you made a mistake there, the coronets look much better. And you told me to fuck off and that I was wrong. But I preferred the coronets on there, and I still do. Oh, another Brian Johnston update. Now, since I've just driven him again the other night, even with the issues, I've totally fallen head over heels in love with Brian Johnston again. And I've been thinking, I mean, you know, there's the idea that Mustard and I had, but putting that on one side, assuming that he's going to work and can be a daily, which means I don't want to part with him for a month, because, you know, the other obvious daily would be Shison, and I don't want Shison as a daily. They're relatively low mileage, and, you know, the old CVT box, I would hate for that to break. So I want to keep the miles down on Shison. I certainly don't want to be dailying in them. But assuming that Brian Johnston is okay to keep as a Ailey, I'm so sorry. I can only apologise. I was thinking that wouldn't he look cool if he had a ZR spoiler like Nigel and Eric. And do you know what I'd love to do with him? He's on 15-inch turbines at the moment, alloys, which are the factory fitment for the car, 25 GSI. I love hairpin alloys, I really do, and I'd love to have a set, and I think they would look epic on Brian. So I don't know what size of wheel I can put on Brian, but I assume I'd be okay to put 16s on instead of 15s. So what do you think of the idea of fitting Brian with a ZR spoiler and a set of 16-inch hairpin alloys? And I really fancy that idea. I think he'd look amazeballs, and I'm just totally in love with him again at the moment. I've genuinely loved that car. I don't know how seriously you take some of my stuff, but all the time that he was sitting unloved in Mustard's yard, I'd just fallen in love with him, and I desperately wanted him. And when I bought him and brought him home, never having even driven him, I was bowled over by the way that he drove. And apparently, I've never seen him underneath, but Mustard has, obviously, and apparently he's absolutely A1 underneath, or at least he was until I drove him through all of the snow. And I just think it's a fabulous little car, and I love the fact that he's a Project Nigel car, so I've got an actual bona fide Project Nigel car. But what do you think about that? ZR spoiler, 16-inch hairpin alloys. Let me know. Ross says, I'm off to watch the Yard Scarecrow video and then out and about. Take care all and goodbye. Well, cheerio Ross, have a great day. Yeah, I put a bigger battery than what was fitted on mine, says Matt, just to be safe. Sounds like your battery isn't holding enough charge, says Cheeseburger. Same problem my daughter had. Call out the RAC. They do a free battery for members. I'm not a member of the RAC, Cheeseburger, so they wouldn't give a free battery to me. Mustard doubts that it's the battery. More like an earthing problem. I couldn't see a problem with the earth, and you did the earth, or redid the earth. I know it had been a problem previously. I couldn't see that it was a problem now. I'll check it again. The battery is it's just making sense to me, because it was, having been pants, it was perfect with a fully charged battery. That wouldn't be an earthing issue, neither would it be a BCU issue. Surely it would be a state of the battery issue, or at least possibly. Anyway, it's got to be worth banging Shison's battery on for a night and seeing how that goes. If nothing else, it eliminates one issue. They only have small batteries in these, says Mustard. Yeah, I know, but the battery that's in it, the space for the battery is like that, and the battery that's in it is like that. It's very obviously much smaller than the battery that should be in. Honestly, the battery in Brian is like, it's tiny. It's literally the smallest battery I've ever seen. It looks like a battery off like a kid's electric car. Genuinely, it's tiny. if I do this tomorrow, I'll video it, and you can see the size of the battery that comes off it. I've literally never seen one so small. Mustard, how much for the 25? Asked Jimmy Quinn. 1,500 quid. Bad earth on a rusty Rover, says Cheeseburger. Unheard of, says Simon. Yeah, but Mustard did that. Right. Head Dumpy Dump says Brian's battery is a possible cause, but the lack of current flow may have knackered the BCU. Symptoms seem worse and more frequent at night when the battery is under more load with lights and heater on, etc. Yeah. Oh, and we're back to the P6 and Cheeseburger and, oh, hello. And he was asking for more money yesterday, says Jimmy Quinn. Was he? Everybody seems to know about this, more so than me. Simon says, oh no, money bags, not so money bags. And Jimmy Quinn says, it's true, he is a twat. And Skick says, I think Boaty might say it's none of his business. Well, oh God, are we going to go here? Right. You guys obviously know more than I do. It kind of is none of my business, but if I knew what was going on, that wouldn't stop me having an opinion on it. And from what little I was able to glean, it all looked a bit dodgy. The original live stream has been deleted. I don't know exactly what's gone on. Assuming that we're talking about the same thing, all that I was able to see for sure was that he asked for money, money was donated, and then a short time after he was throwing out loads of money on another live stream. And that's the extent that I know about it. So if there are any, obviously there appear to be more updates asking for more money. I don't know. You know, 30 quid admin fee, says Mustard. Correct, that's a bastard. I can lend you a skateboard, Boaty, says Jimmy Quinn. Thank you. There should be a community McDonald's account on the app so we could supply free burgers, etc. on days out. Or at least $1.99 Big Macs. Gosh, you're going to meet loads of great people on Sunday, says Mustard. It's weird that you've only met me so far. Is it? Oh, I suppose it is a bit. Yeah, it'll be cool to meet some people. Or will it? Will it be a disappointment? Will I meet people whose work I admire, like Joseph Lloyd and Matt Richardson? And will I say, hello, I'm a great fan of your channel? And will they say, that's nice, we're not a great fan of yours, we think you're a twat. Goodbye. It's possible. It is possible. I'm looking forward to Sunday. I'm not looking forward to getting up. But is the food there, or do we have to take our own food? That's an important question. You know me, I'm all about the food, and I need to plan these things. Is there a nice, trustworthy cafe? Or are we allowed to cook there? Should I take the stove and make Momo? Or should I just take sandwiches so that I can eat stealthily in the car without drawing attention to myself? Oh, it was a live stream that you were on yesterday, Jimmy Quinn. Okay, and there was more money being requested, is that right? I was really impressed with the CBT box, says Matt, who had a drive in the Honourable Shison. Well, he didn't drive. He had a ride in the Honourable Shison. I probably would have chosen a 25 with a CBT over the Streetwise had I known they were that nice. But I do love my Streetwise. Good luck finding one, Matt. According to the guys in the CVT group, there are only 61 left on the road. And I imagine that in IXL trim, like Shison, that number would be a lot smaller. I think they are quite a rare little car now. I know that when I looked on that dreadful website, How Many Left, which isn't to be trusted, I think it said there were only 4 or something. Budbook says, I'm staying with my brother tomorrow night, so I'll try and get him on yours or Mustard's live. Go easy on him. We will indeed. It's not an admin charge, it's a naughty penalty, says Cheeseburger. The FCA made the banks reduce their charges and they need to do the same to insurance companies. 16-inch hairpins are good, says Mustard. Wouldn't they look fabulous on Brian? I'm obsessed by that now. I take it Brian isn't stop-start. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, and Mustard says the battery space is available for the diesel, which needs masses of power. Well, it's a thought, isn't it, mate? It is a thought, and it just made logical sense to me with the car working with a fully charged battery. Not a single issue, not even a hint of an issue. Not until the battery started to run down when it had been used for a while and when it was under load with lights and heater. It's not going to do any harm to bang another battery, the one I've Shison on, is it? And, you know, it probably won't solve the problem, but imagine if it does, what a joy that would be. So I will do that tomorrow. I will make a video tomorrow night and we'll see what happens. Do I own my Streetwise or is it just a hired 25? Yes, Boaty, I know it doesn't work grammatically, but I'm still using it. Well, it works when I read it out, Matt, and that's actually quite good. Oh dear. Joseph Lloyd was at Withall Transport Museum after Pride of Longridge, says Cheeseburger. Yeah. Hang on. Yeah, you'll fucking hate it, says Mustard. What will I hate? What will I hate? The show. Oh, getting up early. I'll hate getting up early. God knows I always hate getting up early. But I'm genuinely excited about the show. I'm genuinely looking forward to it. Oh, which car should I take? Now, I've only got a choice of 4. Stigbürt is out of commission, obviously. Do I take Shison, Boo, Wetleg, or Brian? Which car should I take to the Furious Driving social meet? Which would you most like to see? I won't hate it once I'm there, Mustard, and you'll be there to hold my hand, won't you? You could sell Momo at the show and make yourself a few quid for petrol costs. The thought had occurred. The thought had occurred, Pingu. How about trying Stigbürt's battery, says Cheeseburger? That's going to be too big. I've got a Stigbürt battery in there, but it's massive. And yeah, I think that's just going to be too big. I'll try the battery off Shison. I know that's okay because Shison doesn't have any problems, do they? So let's try that one and see if that makes any difference. Maybe it's clutching at straws, but, you know, why not? It's a theoretical possibility, and let's at least eliminate that. Yeah. Anybody going to Furious Driving's meet on Sunday? Do any of you want to pre-book some Momo? And I'll take the stove and the steamer, and we can all get Momo'd up. You would need to pre-book it though, because I'd need to sort them out. But if anybody wanted it, I'd be very happy to organise a Momo cookout at the lovely Matt's doings. You'll hate the people, you'll hate getting up early, and you'll hate seeing me enjoy it, says Mustard. You're probably right. You're probably right. I'll probably be a right grumpy old mardy ass. And everybody will just ignore me. Like the grumpy old uncle at family parties that sits in the corner and just harumphs at everything, and everybody just ignores him and enjoys himself. Skik says, Boaty, I would like you to consider doing a video of the late David Brown, founder of Proton in the UK. Okay, that's not the same David Brown who was the founder of Aston Martin then, I take it. He was from Warrington. I want you to visit his grave. I would pay all expenses. Okay. Okay, Skip. I'm up for that. I'm up for that. I'd be happy to do some research, and if it was important to you, I would be happy to make a video. I know nothing about Proton. I know nothing about the David Brown chap. And I'm not even 100% sure where Warrington is. But that sounds like an interesting thing, especially if nobody else has done it. Yes, please, for Momo on Sunday, says Liz. Also, which car should I take, V6 or V8? For me, Liz, the V6. Because I saw your post on, on insert name of car that I've forgotten. And I didn't know about that. I didn't know it was the one that you had the soft spot for. Just seeing that post and reading about all of your love for the car, it's made me doubly determined to sort Stigbürt out and to have him forever and to do wonderful things with him. What I would love to do is to get a gramophone in him, the same as the one that you've got in yours. That would look, I wouldn't be a fan of that in a 75, but I think in the MG, it would be very much in keeping. And I was entranced with your gramophones in all of your cars. And I see that your V6 has got one as well. And I also noticed that in the pictures of your V6, it had the registration number that is now on the V8. So I'd love to I would love to see the V6 in person, because it would then inspire me even further to, and the things that you said about it, and that it offered so much more enjoyment and whatnot for the pound, value than any V8. And I'm so desperate to get Stigbürt sorted. I really am. You don't know what you've got until it's gone and all of that. Yeah, I'm determined. I'm going to be taking the first steps, hopefully this week. Tomorrow, I'm planning to go down to the garage that some of you know, the classic car place, and I'm planning to book Stigbürt in so that they can tell me exactly what he needs. So at least then I know exactly where I'm batting from. The wheels I know about, and Liz has very kindly offered to help me temporarily get out of jail free in that regard, which will be a massive help. But yeah, he can't sit there any longer. I've been so insanely poor this month that I couldn't even get him booked in for a look over. But yeah, I'm going to get him in, and we'll take it from there. He can't sit there. No, he just can't. We need to get that sorted. And I've kind of decided, and Liz has, and also the playing with Liz's V8 has inclined me towards this, that Mustard's not a fan. And Mustard sort of said, oh, that's the one to get rid of. And I'd kind of half agreed in the past, but now, no. I think that Stigbürt should be an absolute keeper, and should be the one that has hopefully things improve for me. Should be one that I throw some love and attention at. He should be a super long-term. Anyway, stop whiffling on about that. Da, da, da. Anyway, yes, please for Momo on Sunday. Okay, so that's one. So it looks like the Momo thing is happening. Does anybody else want Momo on Sunday? If so, let me know, and I will take Momo, and we will cook them, and I'll take the stove, and I'll take plenty of gas, yeah, we can all have Momo. That'll be lovely. I'll try and sort out some disposable or cheap cutlery or something, and some plates and whatnot as well. But do let me know if you want some, because I'll only take enough for people who pre-order them. You went to Wellington a few weeks ago to pick a caravan up. Oh, that's where it is. Oh, okay. Is the wine frozen? No, it's... I forgot to put it in the freezer. It's in here. And I can do with some more of it. I'm enjoying myself tonight. And I'm feeling so much better. Thank you, everybody. I knew that you would jerk me out of my misery. And it's self-inflicted misery. Don't get me wrong. I'm not suggesting that you should feel sorry for me. Far from it. It's entirely self-inflicted. The wine is now in the freezer. You saw me do it. What would your battery tester say? Have you tried plugging your diagnostic tool into Brian? No, and I did think about that. But here's what I thought, and I may be wrong. I probably should do it anyway, and I might well. But here's what I thought. Now, the battery tester is going to tell me how the battery is as a battery, as what it is. And I don't know if this is a thing, but if the battery is just too small for the car, the battery tester wouldn't tell me that. So this is just my thinking, I could be totally wrong. So the battery tester could say that the battery is perfectly okay, but if the battery was smaller than ideal for the car, the battery tester wouldn't know that, would it? Although I suppose if I plugged my Posh diagnostics in my King Bolan K7, then that should tell me when the car was running whether the battery was producing or sending sufficient currentage or ampage or voltage or whatever the fuckage it is to the doing, shouldn't it? So I think I'll probably just swap the battery over with Shison tomorrow and see what happens. I think that's probably the quickest and easiest way to be absolutely certain. And if that doesn't solve the problem, then we know we've got a BCU or Earth or whatever else it is issue. So there we are. There we are. There we are. My CVT 216 Coupe, says Pingu, was surprisingly fun to drive because of the CVT until it broke. Oh dear. Oh, Liz says the V8 and the V6 are on different registrations, but consecutive ones. 53 what the fuck WTF and 03 WTF. Oh, that's brilliant. Oh, fair play. If Hobnut is there on Sunday, ask him for his autograph, as your late gran was a big fan. That's a Barry Humphries gag. I can recommend the Quarterlight YouTube channel, says Cheeseburger. He reviews car brochures of our era. He's presently going through a 1988 Ford new car brochure. I've got one of those. I've got loads of Ford brochures. I've got loads of all sorts of brochures. I've got a brilliant Ford one, really nice. I've asked Hubnut for a selfie, says Jimmy Quinn. Liz says, is there a chance the infidel will be there on Sunday? If so, I'll be absent. Not as far as I'm aware, Liz. So I think it's safe. Skick says, I asked Hubnut on a live, has he seen Project Nigel and Boaty's World? He said he'd seen Nigel and he'd never heard of you. Yeah, well, that figures. Yeah, he and Mustard have spoken and talked and they know each other. And yeah, he's got no idea who I am. Now, if I met Ian, the question that I would like to ask him is, did he know me when he was a wet behind the ears journalist and I was a famous classic car dealer? Because I'm sure our paths must have crossed. He was from my neck of the woods. And if he was working as a journalist in the classic car world, then there is no way that he wouldn't not have been to my place. I mean, it was too well known. It was a must visit place for any classic journalist. And I used to get literally daily requests from journalists asking for interviews, asking to feature cars that I had there, asking for cars for photo shoots and whatnot. So that's what I'd like to know from Hubnut. I want Momo, says Mustard, but I'll be full of egg mayonnaise. Okay. Poor old Boaty, says Jimmy. Hubnut doesn't know you. I'm pretty much okay with that, to be honest with you. It's not... Right, Mustard is insisting that the battery is not too small for the car. And he's kind of got a point. He's kind of got a point, because for the first however long it was with that battery on it, the car performed perfectly well. But what about, just saying, what about if the battery suddenly wasn't performing quite as well as it should, and because it's a little bit small, even if it's not too small for the car, because it's on the small side and because it's slightly underperforming, I don't know, but it could potentially be a thing. It makes sense to me, so I'm just going to swap the batteries, okay? And I'll video it, and then we'll know. And if it makes absolutely no difference, you can all call me an idiot, all right? I'm not hurting anybody. God above. Boaty's Momo, sponsored by Mustard's Gas. Oh, right. I would like to go, but it's too far, says Jimmy. Everything's too far from you, mate. Maybe Hubnut does follow me, but you haven't seen him because he's a ninja. I do joke that Hubnut gets inspiration from my videos. The battery tester, says Cheeseburger, will tell you its ability to retain its charge and the quality of it overall. It will also tell you if the alternator is working. Has to be the first stop. Okay, all right, well, maybe I'll do that. Hubnut won't be there, says Mustard. I gave the cashier at the petrol station a scratch card when I bought them, says Matt, and told him about your channel. Oh, bless you. I had a similar battery power problem, says Pingu, on a Leon Cupra, and my diagnostics tool used to say something like, Power B fault code, a larger battery solved this problem. Hubnut won't attempt to breach our defences, says Cheeseburger stoutly. The water pistols are ready. Smaller battery, says Pingu, would have to work harder to cope with the demand and would fail sooner. No? Have you put your reader on the car, says Skik? No. Right. Well, I think we've established that, look, okay. Tomorrow I will bugger about with batteries and with a battery. I'm just glad I'm feeling more positive, to be honest with you. Oh, and apparently Jeremy Clarkson won't be there either. But I'll be there, and I'm the next best thing. We're the same height. We're both bombastic and arrogant. We both chain smoke. Unfortunately, only one of us gets to shag Lisa Hogan. But that's, you know, that's just through circumstance. It's not like I wouldn't. I'd love to have a go on her. Ooh, Lisa Hogan. What? Fine figure of an Irish woman. Whew. So, right, I need to start saying your goodbyes, darling. It's 23 minutes past when I was going to finish. So, I think I've talked about everything I planned to. Mustard, has your YouTube money gone in? You're not as tall as my yard man. Boaty's battering begins. It does indeed, Pingu. Look, it's a potential fix. We should be excited. And let me know what you think about 16-inch hairpin alloys and the ZR spoiler on Brian. And anything else that you think that I should do. I'll be back in a second. Oh, start saying you good night. We'll be going in a minute. There we are. What have I missed? You're not as tall as my yard man. I've got a WhatsApp video, mate. Hey up and good night, Boaty, says Ujuj. Sorry I didn't join until now. I was syringe feeding a bunny. Oh, bless you. Hope they're okay. Topic for tomorrow, says Cheeseburger. Who would you like to go on? I'm totally up for that. That is tomorrow's topic. Don't let me forget. Matt, you're my unpaid intern. That is tomorrow's topic. Who would you like to go on? And I'll even put it in the title beforehand. Normally I just put Monday Night Live, Tuesday Night Live. Tomorrow will be Tuesday Night Live. Who would you like to go on? So, yeah, absolutely. He's off to the bog, says Mustard. That's my party trick. I wasn't actually, mate. I went up to the office to get a packet of fags. I've run out of fags, and as soon as this finishes, I'm going to nip outside for one. Oh, you didn't hear that, did you? Squeaky floorboards. Oh, God, I'm so sorry. I thought I was out of range. My elderly iPhone 6 has got a surprisingly good microphone. Tricia says good night all. Jimmy Quinn says night all. Another good live stream, Boaty. Thank you so much. You need to find that video. That will go viral, says Skick. Which video? Which one do I need to find? I'd love to have a viral video. Spotty Botty says good night. Cheeseburger says good night. I'll give you an update on the battery tomorrow, I promise. And look, on a serious note, guys, I wasn't joking. I've had the most awful day today. There's been like no redeeming features. I've not been productive. I've been feeling really awful. I'm Mustard. I'm sorry I didn't get up there today. I'm glad you had a better day, even though you know, the bloody insurance thing has bounced and you've got charges there. Hopefully your YouTube money has landed now. Mine certainly has. So I know I can get to work tomorrow, and I know I can eat and everything. So that's all good. But mainly, I just want to say, I don't know if I say this too often or not enough. I just want to say a massive thank you to all of you. Gosh, still 20 of you watching, just for being there and for always being there. And it's wonderful to know that I've always got this to look forward to, and you never fail to lift my spirits. I love doing this. I hope you get something from it too. I can't wait to meet some of you on Sunday. Hang on. What really was up today? I told you I was up, Skick. absolutely skint. The money didn't go in when it was supposed to. I couldn't go and spend the day with mustard. Didn't have money to go out and buy food. I've been stuck in the house all day, and because I was feeling pants and sorry for myself and annoyed with myself for being in this situation, then I got into a stupid depressive thing, and I just sat and I did sod all day, which meant that I ended up being annoyed with myself for not using the time productively. I could have cleaned the cottage from top to bottom. I could have done all of my laundry. I could have valeted cars, and I would have felt a lot better for it. And I didn't, and I'm sorry, but tomorrow will be better. And thank you. We need a battery. Do a live stream doing the battery Boaty, says Jimmy Quinn. That's an interesting idea. Interesting. Yeah, I might actually. We need battery updates on Facebook tomorrow, says Pingu, otherwise I will not cope. All right, I promise you, Facebook updates tomorrow. Tune into the Facebook group, Boaty's World, search for it on Facebook. You can't miss it. Tomorrow will be a productive day. And even if the battery doesn't solve Brian Johnston, then, at least it's a positive step. And I promise you, tomorrow I'll go down to the boys and I will book Stigbürt in, because you lot must be really pissed off with me just letting him bloody rot. Well, not literally rot, but you know what I mean? Just letting him be ignored and unloved. I mean, he's not unloved. Like I say, you don't know what you've got till it's gone. And Anyway. Chin up, Boaty and mustard. Absolutely. Oh, bless you, Jimmy. We are your gang here. It does sound like a poo-poo day, your judge. Yeah, it was. It was. Never mind. Have you sent the scratch card to Simone yet? No, I'm useless. I'm hopeless. Matt has sorted me out some envelopes, which will be here by Wednesday. The scratch cards are still sitting over there. I've got the addresses. I've just been really crap. I'm so disorganized and so rubbish at stuff like that. Really sorry. They will get to you. They will still be valid. Just enjoy the anticipation. That's Simone and Trace, who are the recipients of they will be the recipients of the scratch cards. And then we've got some more to give away over the next few days. I'm sorry I'm so crap. Chat tomorrow, buddy, says, mate. Yeah, definitely. Let's have a chat tomorrow. Oh, a £2 scratch card. Matt needs to move in with you to get things done. Oh, God. Why don't you scratch them live, says Jimmy? Because they're not for me. They're for you guys, Jimmy. They're not for me to scratch. The buggers will never stop you laughing. Quite right. Oh, the Bank of Pingu is still open. Oh, blimey. What's that for, Pingu? Believe me, when I get the news about Stigbürt, I'll probably be begging from you all when I get that news. Do you want to buy half of Stigbürt, Pingu? And then you can all talk about me on other live streams and say, well, he was asking for money to fix that Stigbürt. And then the next thing you know, he's doing a live stream in a casino and a strip club where he's throwing money about at women and slipping it down women's bum cracks. And then the next thing is, he's back on another live stream asking for more money. And then I'll be on the News of the World front page. Disgraced Reverend Minister of the Pastafarian Church. Oh, bless you, Skik. You help people on here about it. That's really kind of you. You should have scratched the scratch cards, Boaty. I'd replaced them. Who knows? You might have won. God, yeah. Yeah, I could have won 30 quid and gone to Mustards today. Never mind. Battery is a positive step, says Bad Books, and a negative. Oh, I see what you did there. If he doesn't post them on Thursday, says Underscore, I should go full intern and do it myself. Scratch them, says Matt. I'll buy 3 more. Oh, shall we? I could sub you to go to the casino and win a chunk to fix Stiggy, says Pingu. Oh, that's putting some faith in my gambling abilities, isn't it? Oh God, that's a thought. Should we do a live scratch? No, I'm not gonna. No. We'll keep them. They're for you guys. Because they're physically here. So if we do, tell you what, if we give one away tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday, and then I can post all 5 on Friday. That would be the day after Thursday, wouldn't it? Yeah, there we go. Oh, Cheeseburger says, a mate of mine made the front page of the News of the World. The Bonk manager. True story. That's quite impressive, isn't it? I will admit, because I've had a glass of wine, I will admit that I was investigated by a Sun journalist. Back in the day, in the, what would it have been? The very late 1990s or the relatively early 2000s. I was the subject of a Sun sting because somebody sold, as I understand it, somebody sold a story to the Sun about me, and there was investigation, and eventually I was actually approached by a Sun journalist for comment, and fortunately, the story wasn't as it was told to the Sun, because contrary to their belief, I am not now and never was a total bastard. Neither am I dishonest, neither am I immoral. So it was a bit of bollocks that, but it was like kind of conceivably, it looked as if it was conceivably true, if you know what I mean, but it absolutely wasn't. So in the end it came to nothing, but yeah, I was, but front page of the News of the World, the Bonk manager, that's brilliant. Seriously, if you want to scratch them, it's fine. No, honestly, Matt, it's all good. We'll save them and we'll give them away over the next 3 days, 1 per day. What ended selling classic cars? Asked Skick. That's a good question, Skick. Oh, all right. It's kind of late in the live stream, and it's kind of an involved story. So, what time is it? It's 20 to 1. I don't want to give you the whole 9 yards. All right, I'll give you a very, very, very potted version, shall I? Mustard knows. And I can't remember if Simon and I discussed this, but Mustard definitely knows. Bear with, just bear with, and I'll give you a very quick version. Okay, very quick version for Skick and anybody else. Right, okay, very quick version. When I joined the firm, it was a golfing magazine. This is going to be super quick. I'll tell the full story one day. It'll take a long time. Basically, I've been running pubs. I was running a friend's pub for a very short space of time. He'd given up being a milkman. He'd bought a pub. He'd never run a pub before. He asked me to step in for however long it was. I think it was 3 or 4 weeks, and just teach him how to do it. And for whatever reason, I was at a loose end. I think a relationship had broken up, and at that point, I think the relationship breaking up meant that I lost the pub, because myself and my fiance were joint managers of a pub in Colum O'Rourke's that I know Cheeseburger knows, little pub company. It was the Red Lion out at Bradley Green, Cheeseburger. You'll know the one. Which under Colum's ownership was Mad O'Rourke's Kipper House, previously known as the Red Lion at Bradley Green. Donna and I split up, and that meant that the job went, which meant that I was at a loose end. Chris asked me to step in and help because he bought this pub. And if you're interested, it was the Hollybush on Gorkett Hill. Again, Cheeseburger, you will probably know that. Old Gorkett Hill, you know, before the dual carriageway was built. So I was there. Basically, I just stepped in, showed Chris the ropes. I did my normal thing when I took over a pub. I sacked all of the staff and invited them to reapply for their jobs. The reason I did that is because when a pub landlord is coming towards the end of their tenancy or whatever, then they tend to be very lax, they tend to be corrupt, and the staff tend to be equally so. So as soon as I stepped into the pub, I knew that there was a lot of stealing going on. I sacked everybody. I invited them to reapply. I'm going to crack on with this very quickly. One night during a lock-in, yeah, I used to do that. During an after-hours lock-in, a father and son and another guy were talking about classic cars. And bear in mind that even at that age, in my early 20s, I was an expert. And I can even remember what they were talking about. They were talking about the differences between a series 1, 2 and 3 Jensen Interceptor. And they were making mistakes. So I put them right. And they kind of said, you know, what do you know about? And, you know, I explained that I was brought up with classic cars, that it was in my blood, blah, blah, blah. And we got chatting, and they said, you should come and work with us. We're setting up a classic car place, or we've just set up a classic car place. And I thought nothing about it until my time at the pub finished a couple of weeks afterwards. And I thought, I might just drive up to that place and see what they were on about. So I did. And what it was, and this is quite interesting actually, originally, well, if you want to go right back, then any of you who know Birmingham will remember the King Kong statue. And the guy who turned out to be my second father, he bought the King Kong statue back when it had been sold from Birmingham, went up to Edinburgh or Glasgow. He bought it back and set up the King Kong Car Company in Birmingham, and put this bloody great King Kong statue up outside his car dealership. Well, this was the guy that I was dealing with, and he'd set up a magazine called Midland Motor Mag, and that is the magazine that went on to become Auto Trader. He started it, Midland Motor Mag, and then he sold out to, was it Newmarket? Whoever it was that turned it into Auto Trader, and obviously made quite a sizable success of it. And then it morphed from being Midland Motor Mag after he sold that. It became Golfers News, a monthly golfing newspaper or magazine. So it's basically a printing place. But it had this massive forecourt because it had been a garage previously. And some of his friends asked if they could put their classic sports prestige cars on the forecourt with a for sale sign on, because it's right on a busy dual carriageway. And he said, yeah, cool, go for it. So these cars started appearing, and more people started asking, and gradually it became clear that there was a business here operating a very highly specialist vehicle brokerage. And that was the point that I got involved. It was still technically a golfing paper when I became involved. And between us, we turned it into this classic and sports car showrooms and auction house. We took on extra premises. We started setting up live auctions, blah, blah, blah. And we built it and it did really well. And then at a certain point, I'm doing this really quickly. Correct cheeseburger, the A435. That's the one. That's not where King Kong was, but that's where I'm talking about. Bradley Green by Feckenham. Flat now, says Cheeseburger. Oh, right. You don't recognise Gorcut Hill. You know it. You'll know it, Cheeseburger. The dual carriageway going out of Redditch up towards Birmingham. The A435, yeah? When it becomes dual carriageway, when you've gone from the... can't remember the name of the pub. I think it was a Harvester last time I looked. And the garden centre. It becomes dual carriageway, it goes up the hill. That's Gorcut Hill. At the top of the hill, there's the bridge with the road towards... shit, I can't remember the name of it. But anyway, and then... if you go off the 435 over the bridge towards wherever it is I'm thinking of, there's a right-hand turn, and that is Old Gorcut Hill. That's the old road before the dual carriageway was there, and it's now a dead end. And tucked down there, down that hill on the right-hand side, is a fabulous little pub called the I forgot what it was called, and I told you a minute ago. Hollybush. Hollybush. I think it was Hollybush, wasn't it? So yeah, where was I? Yeah, so we've got this place going, we built it, it did really well, and it was mostly me and the guy's son doing it, running it on a day-to-day basis. And eventually, the son, who's still a really good friend of mine, got married and started a family and decided to take his money and move to Spain, where he still is. And he bought a radio station in Spain, which is the biggest English-speaking radio station in Spain now. Done really well. It's Spectrum Almeria or Spectrum. Oh, I can't pronounce it. I can't pronounce Spanish. But that's what he did. Did really well for himself. Had a couple of little sub-businesses as well, importing British foodstuffs and a satellite dish company, so that all of the bloody awful British expats in Spain could get EastEnders and all of that crap. But did really, really well for himself. And at about the same time, I'd been doing really well. I'd become a vocalist, as I've talked about before. I'd set up a promotions company that did incredibly well. I then bought out an entertainment agency, and that was doing incredibly well. So he left and I left, and we did our thing. And then a few years on, I was approached to go back. It had grown a lot. It really needed somebody to take hold of the reins again. And they made me an offer I couldn't refuse. You know, by this time I was living up here. I was married. I wasn't married, but I was living with the lady that became my wife. And I agreed to go back, and I went back and I worked hard and got things back on an even keel. And to cut a long story short, I arranged eventually a management buyout where I would buy the company. And that was kind of what was going ahead. And then I got married and I went on my honeymoon. And while I was on my honeymoon, having very stupidly signed some blank pieces of paper and some blank checks to cover needs when I was away, because I'd made sure that I was the sole signature, I was manager, director and company secretary, I was the sole bank signatory, and cut a very long story short, to cut a very long story short, when I came back off honeymoon, the company was bankrupted and there was a warrant out for my arrest. And there you go. That's why I stopped selling classic cars. So there's a lot more to that story, but we'll save that for another day. I'm puzzled if you did so well. Why are you claiming to be so poor? Maybe I should hold that thought before he explains. Well, partly the bankruptcy thing, but mostly GPS, a divorce. Believe me, if you haven't experienced a divorce that you don't contest, will make you poor overnight. And having been taken poor overnight, if you continue with a lifestyle where you're not earning much money because you don't give a shit about money anymore, apart from when you do, and you think other things are more important, like making a difference to people and being happy, then you'll be poor. But yeah, if you want to be poor overnight, have a divorce. Works wonders. There we go. That's that. Oh, Mark Davis, thank you very much. A contribution to the Stigbürt Fund. That's really kind. Jimmy Quinn, bless you. Another couple of quid. Really appreciate that. Let me just catch up with the comments before we bugger off. Yeah, Bradley Green by Feckenham. I loved that place. Madder Rock's Kipper House. I had fun there. I really did have fun there. We had, do you remember, we had a boat out in the car park and a massive static caravan, which is where I lived when I first left home. Dear. Oh, it was Glasgow, says Cheeseburger. It was Glasgow that King Kong was brought back from. And bloody Morris, the cheeky sod. I adore Morris. I mean, he's long gone now, bless him. But he and the goat were like my surrogate fathers, and they really taught me how to deal with the world. They were amazing people. I miss them to this day. Yeah, he brought King Kong back from Glasgow, as Cheeseburger helpfully points out. Got a shed load of publicity for his King Kong car company, and then he sold it to, I think, somewhere in Stratford. And immediately having sold it, he started a charity, the Bring King Kong Back to Birmingham campaign, and raised a load of money to buy back the thing that he'd sold at a massive profit. He was a bugger. Oh dear. You can go from rags to riches and vice versa. Life can change things, it certainly can. Nice reminiscing, Boat Trace Cheeseburger. We'll do it properly one day. That's a great thing about these live streams, isn't it? When you just get taken away on a stream of memory and consciousness. And I do appreciate that it must seem really weird to a lot of you guys that that I should be so utterly fucked up and on my uppers when, you know, I enjoyed a modicum of success during my life. But hey ho. Try the battery, wink wink. Yeah, we'll sort all the batteries out tomorrow. Shall we all go to bed now? We've had a lovely time. It's been best part of 2 hours. Yeah, good God, 15 of you still watching. Tomorrow, if you go to Mustard's, I can't go to Mustard's tomorrow. It's back to the grindstone restaurant tomorrow night. But I'll have plenty of time tomorrow. I promise you, I'll go and get Stigbürt booked in. I promise you that I'll get batteries sorted out and things, and yeah, we'll anyway, there we are. Ha! Ha! Oh, bless you, Spotty Botty. We're the Boaty Appreciation Society. Oh, that's really sweet. Let me just check I haven't missed anything. Quickly whiz through. Battery update, yeah, I'll do that. Scratch card, no, I didn't, but I will. Yeah, Matt needs to move in with me. Oh, the bank manager. Yeah, I love that. I've done that. Oh, right. Follow up to that. My mate was early 90s knocking off the secretary at a local bank. It was a nothing story in a quiet week. Also made the page 6 cartoon. Oh, well, happy days. Okay. Oh, bless you, Skick. You're not fucked up. You're a real character. Just a really poor character. Oh, Matt, well said. Take care all. Don't have crappy days. Message one of us for a chat. GPS says, what's for supper? What's for supper is what my dear old friend Joan used to call a jump up the larder door. In other words, whatever you can scrape together out of the freezer or out of the cupboards because you're too skint to go to the shop. But yeah, but don't worry, I won't be going to bed hungry, and I won't be going to bed unhappy thanks to you guys. Thank you so much. I hope you've enjoyed this a little bit. I'd hate to think that I was just being selfish and this was just an amazing thing for me. I genuinely hope that you guys get something from it as well. But I do really, and I'll sit down for this bit, I really do need to thank you all for being there. You make a massive difference to me, genuinely. And thank you so much. And I won't waffle on. I'll let you go to bed now. I will see you tomorrow night. I've got no idea what's going on tomorrow. I'm not sure if Mustard is doing one or if anybody else is doing one or what's going on. But what you can bet on is that at some point, I'll be there. At the latest midnight, I'll suss out what else is going on, and I will definitely see you tomorrow, even if it's only just for half an hour. And I'll keep you updated on the batteries and all of that stuff. All right, darlings, let's go. Unmute it, you twat. There we are. There we go. Better out than in. All right, darlings, you can all go to bed now. Thank you so much. Much love to you all. Stay safe, stay warm, take care, have a peaceful night, have a great day tomorrow, and I'll catch you tomorrow night. Bye-bye now. All right, then work, you stupid.